In the annals of crime, certain names echo through time, forever associated with darkness and dread. Jack the Ripper, Ted Bundy, and Jeffrey Dahmer. These names evoke a chilling sense of horror, reminding us of the darkest depths of human depravity. In Japan, one such name sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to utter it: Sataro Fukiage. His reign of terror in the early 20th century left an indelible mark on the nation's psyche, forever associating him with the darkest corners of human nature. Born into poverty and hardship, Fukiage's life was a slow and steady descent into the abyss. From petty theft to unspeakable acts of violence, his story is a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to emerge. This essay delves into the life and crimes of Sataro Fukiage, Japan's infamous serial killer, exploring the factors that shaped his path and the impact his deeds had on Japanese society. Through historical accounts, psychological analysis, and cultural reflections, we will journey into the heart of darkness that consumed Sataro Fukiage. His story serves as a stark warning, reminding us that the potential for evil resides within us all, and that vigilance and understanding are our greatest weapons against its insidious grip. Join us as we unravel the tale of Sataro Fukiage, a name whispered in fear, forever etched in the annals of Japan's criminal history. The year was 1924. Japan, on the cusp of modernity, faced a wave of fear. A shadow fell over bustling streets and tranquil villages. Whispers of missing girls spread like wildfire. Parents clutched their daughters tighter. At the center stood Sataro Fukiage, synonymous with terror. His crimes shocked the nation. How could an ordinary man harbor such desires? What drove him to such acts? Fukiage's reign left a permanent scar. His case changed Japan's criminal justice system. The story of Sataro Fukiage is a chilling reminder. We will delve deeper into his life and crimes. By understanding him, we hope to glean insights into the nature of evil. The year was 1889. Japan, a nation undergoing rapid modernization and societal shifts, bore witness to the birth of a child who would later become a symbol of its darkest undercurrents. In the rural backwaters of Ishikawa Prefecture, a boy named Sataro Fukiage entered the world. Little did anyone know that this seemingly ordinary infant, born into a world of hardship, would grow up to cast a long, dark shadow over the nation. Ishikawa Prefecture, known for its picturesque landscapes and traditional crafts, was a world away from the burgeoning metropolises of Tokyo and Osaka. Life in this rural prefecture was harsh, particularly for those on the lower rungs of the social ladder. Poverty was a constant companion, and opportunities for advancement were few and far between. It was in this unforgiving environment that Sataro Fukiage's story began, his early life shaped by the deprivation and hardship that surrounded him. The details of Fukiage's parentage remain shrouded in mystery, lost to the passage of time and the social stigma associated with his crimes. Some accounts suggest that he was the product of an illicit affair, while others claim that his parents were impoverished farmers who struggled to provide for their numerous offspring. Regardless of their exact circumstances, it is clear that Fukiage's early childhood was marked by neglect and deprivation, factors that would leave an indelible mark on his young psyche. From his earliest days, Sataro bore witness to the harsh realities of poverty. His family's meager dwelling offered little protection from the elements. The walls, thin and cracked, did little to keep out the winter chill. Hunger was a constant companion. Meals consisted of meager portions of rice and vegetables. Meat was a rare luxury. Sataro's clothes hung loosely on his small frame. The weight of his family's poverty pressed down upon him. He watched as other children ran and played in the village. Resentment began to fester within him. The world seemed a cruel and unforgiving place. These early experiences shaped Sataro's worldview. School, Often seen as a sanctuary for learning and social development, offered little solace for young Sataro. His tattered clothes and unkempt appearance set him apart from his peers, making him an easy target for ridicule and ostracism. Other children, their bellies full and their minds occupied with childish games, mocked his threadbare clothes and the constant hunger that gnawed at his insides. Their laughter, innocent though it may have been, cut him like a knife, reinforcing his sense of otherness and fueling the resentment that simmered within him. Education, with its promise of a brighter future, seemed like a cruel joke. A distant world reserved for those fortunate enough to have been born into comfort and stability. Unable to find acceptance within the confines of the classroom, Sataro sought solace in the streets. The bustling marketplace, with its vibrant colours, tantalising smells and endless stream of humanity, offered a welcome distraction from the drudgery of his daily life. It was here, amidst the throngs of shoppers and merchants, that he discovered a knack for petty thievery. At first, his transgressions were small, driven by desperation rather than malice. An apple snatched from a vendor's cart, a rice cake pilfered from a distracted shopkeeper. These petty thefts provided temporary relief from his gnawing hunger. However, each successful theft, no matter how insignificant, chipped away at Sataro's moral compass, blurring the lines between right and wrong and paving the way for more brazen acts of transgression. As Sataro's petty thefts became more frequent and daring, his reputation as a troublemaker spread through the village. Shopkeepers, their patience worn thin by his constant pilfering, began to regard him with suspicion, their eyes following his every move. Whispers of his transgressions reached the ears of his parents, who, already burdened by their own struggles, found themselves ill-equipped to deal with their son's burgeoning delinquency. Their response, a mixture of shame and desperation, did little to address the root causes of Sataro's behaviour. Scoldings, delivered with a weariness that bordered on indifference, washed over him, failing to penetrate the wall of resentment he had erected around his heart. It was during this tumultuous period, as Sataro teetered on the precipice between childhood and adolescence, that fate dealt him a cruel blow. One particularly harsh winter, as famine gripped the region, his parents, their bodies ravaged by hunger and their spirits broken by years of hardship, succumbed to illness. Orphaned and alone, Sataro found himself adrift in a world that had shown him little kindness. The weight of abandonment, a crushing burden for one so young, extinguished any remaining embers of hope that flickered within him. The world, he now believed with unwavering certainty, was a cruel and uncaring place, where survival was a matter of cunning and ruthlessness. And so, hardened by hardship and fueled by resentment, Sataro Fukiage embarked on a path that would lead him down a dark and dangerous road, his name forever etched in the annals of Japan's criminal history. The death of his parents marked a turning point in Sataro's life. Severing his ties to the rural community, he set off on his own, a solitary figure in a rapidly changing Japan. The paths of Ishikawa Prefecture gave way to the bustling streets of Tokyo. Tokyo's vibrant energy contrasted with the poverty he had known. Sataro, driven by grief and anger, was drawn to the city's darker corners. His skills as a petty thief became his tools of survival. He learned to blend into the crowds, his eyes scanning for potential marks. Food stalls became his targets, his nimble fingers quick. Each theft brought a surge of adrenaline, but at a cost. With each transgression, Sataro slipped further from a law-abiding life. The chasm between him and society widened with every stolen coin. Section 2. Tokyo's Underbelly, a Criminal Education. Sataro delved into Tokyo's criminal underworld, meeting seasoned pickpockets who taught him the art of misdirection. He learned to spot marks, exploit weaknesses, and disappear into crowds. In tea houses and gambling dens, he absorbed tales of heists and survival. Among Tokyo's criminals, Sataro found belonging and camaraderie. His poverty became a badge of honor, his skills refined. The thrill of the steal became an addiction, fueling his detachment. His appetite for risk and satisfaction grew with each theft. Section 3. The thrill of the steel mastering the art of deception. Under his mentors, Sataro honed his skills, moving from petty theft to elaborate schemes requiring cunning and deception. He adopted different personas, accents and mannerisms to navigate the city's social strata. To merchants, he was a humble scribe. To geishas, a charming rogue. To tourists, a helpful stranger masking a calculating mind. Sataro's reputation spread, known for meticulous planning and vanishing without a trace. The thrill of the steal became an obsession, blurring the line between right and wrong. Section 4. A descent into violence, crossing the line. Sataro's criminal enterprise flourished, but he craved more than material possessions. His targets became objects of darker fascination. He began to follow young women, fantasizing about domination. The precise moment he crossed the line to violence remains a mystery. Some accounts suggest his first victim was a young prostitute. Others whisper of a jealous rage. Once the floodgates of violence opened, they couldn't be closed. Sataro's methods became more refined with each victim. The city transformed into his hunting ground. His name became a chilling reminder of the darkness lurking beneath Japan's surface. The monster cast a long shadow over the nation. The first whispers of something sinister began in Tokyo's tea houses and gambling dens. Stories circulated of young women vanishing. Initially dismissed as rumors, the disappearances grew more frequent. Fear began to poison the city's atmosphere. Mothers clutched their daughters closer, scanning for trouble. The city's rhythms now had an undercurrent of menace. Authorities faced mounting pressure to act. Newspapers filled with heart-wrenching accounts clamored for answers. Despite efforts, the police seemed powerless. A growing sense of dread whispered of something truly evil. As the body count climbed, a chilling pattern emerged. The victims were young women from poorer districts. Most were in their late teens or early 20s. Many worked long hours for meager wages. These women vanished without a trace. Witnesses offered conflicting accounts of their last movements. Some saw them walking alone at night. Others spoke of men matching Sataro's description. Despite inconsistencies, the girls had vanished. A chilling question echoed: who was preying on the city's most vulnerable daughters? The lack of a clear motive deepened the mystery. The victims came from impoverished backgrounds. Robbery seemed unlikely as a motive. The girls' bodies offered few clues. Some were discovered in shallow graves or hidden in bamboo forests. The brutality of the crimes left little doubt of a monster among them. The absence of a sexual component confounded investigators. Some victims bore signs of restraint, but no sexual violence. This lack of motive fueled speculation. Rumors of a vengeful spirit or secret society spread. Others pointed to social outcasts succumbing to darkness. The city was gripped by fear and uncertainty. The enigma of motive cast a long shadow over Tokyo. As the investigation stalled, terror settled over Tokyo. The city seemed to shrink, its inhabitants retreating in fear. Streets grew eerily quiet as darkness descended. Parents forbade their daughters from venturing out alone. Authorities increased police patrols and offered rewards. Despite efforts, the disappearances continued. Fear seeped into the homes of the wealthy and powerful. Unease prevailed, a gnawing suspicion that no one was truly safe. The disappearances continued for nearly 2 years. Tokyo teetered on the brink of an abyss. The police grappled with a case that defied logic. The killer moved with chilling precision. The case attracted national scrutiny. Newspapers ran lurid accounts of the crimes. The public devoured every scrap of information. Pressure on the authorities mounted. Unorthodox methods were employed. Despite efforts, the shadow over Tokyo deepened. The stage was set for a confrontation with evil. The year 1924 began with dread in Tokyo. The shadow of the killer loomed large. The police seemed no closer to unmasking the perpetrator. Newspapers reflected the growing despair, yet a glimmer of hope emerged. A young woman, a street vendor, witnessed something unusual. A man with a cold demeanor frequented her stall. She couldn't shake the feeling she had seen him before. She confided in a local policeman. Her story struck a chord with the officer. He had heard similar whispers from other vendors. The man watched young women with unsettling intensity. The police had a new lead to follow. The street vendor's story provided a crucial piece of the puzzle. It corroborated eyewitness accounts. A composite sketch of the killer began to circulate. The police launched a citywide manhunt. Brothels, gambling dens and lodging houses were raided. Rewards posters were plastered everywhere. The pressure on the police intensified. Newspapers demanded justice. The public demanded results. The net around the killer began to tighten. A pawnbroker came forward with crucial information. A man matching the killer's description had pawned items. The pawnbroker recognized the items as belonging to a missing girl. The pawnbroker discreetly noted the man's appearance. Armed with the pawnbroker's description, the police set a trap. Plainclothes officers were deployed to pawn shops and black markets. Their patience was rewarded in July 1924. A man matching the composite sketch entered a pawnbroker's shop. He nervously offered a gold locket. The pawnbroker recognized the locket from the police description. He engaged the man in conversation. A plainclothes officer discreetly summoned his colleagues. The shop was swarming with police officers. The man offered no resistance as he was arrested. The crowd outside gasped in relief and disbelief. The man was revealed as Sataro Fukiage. The monster who had terrorized Tokyo was finally in custody. News of Sataro Fukiage's capture spread through Tokyo like wildfire, igniting a wave of relief and a thirst for justice. The city, so long shrouded in fear, seemed to breathe a collective sigh. Newspapers now trumpeted the triumph of law and order, proclaiming Fukiage's capture as a victory. The trial of Sataro Fukiage promised to be a harrowing ordeal, a public reckoning. The courtroom became a stage for a chilling drama. Fukiage's demeanor was a study in contradictions. The evidence presented against Fukiage was both damning and unsettling. Throughout his trial, Sataro Fukiage remained an enigma, a cipher whose true motives remained shrouded in mystery. He spoke little in his own defense, his pronouncements delivered in a flat, affectless monotone. He offered no apologies, expressed no remorse, and maintained a chilling detachment. Some speculated that he was driven by a deep-seated misogyny, his crimes rooted in a childhood marred by poverty and abandonment. Others whispered of a twisted sense of power, a desire to exert control over the weak. Despite efforts of psychologists and criminologists, the true nature of his darkness remained elusive, a chilling reminder of the unfathomable depths of the human psyche. The weight of evidence against Fukiage proved insurmountable. The jury returned a unanimous guilty verdict. The judge sentenced Sataro Fukiage to death by hanging. On a cold December morning in 1926, Fukiage was led from his cell to the gallows. The execution was swift and efficient, marking the final chapter in a tale of horror. As the trapdoor swung open, a collective shudder ran through the witnesses. With his death, the shadow over Tokyo lifted, replaced by a sense of relief and renewed appreciation for peace. Even in death, the spectre of Sataro Fukiage haunted Japan. His crimes shook the nation, leaving an indelible mark on its psyche. The case sparked a national conversation about criminal behavior and law enforcement. Fukiage's name became synonymous with humanity's darkest impulses. The fear he instilled lingered, a chilling reminder of society's fragility. After his capture, reforms were implemented to prevent similar tragedies. Police patrols increased and new laws addressed juvenile delinquency. The case emphasized criminal profiling and forensic techniques. Fukiage's legacy cast a long shadow, even as Japan modernized. His crime served as a stark reminder of the potential for evil. The tale of Sataro Fukiage continues to resonate, a chilling reminder of fear's enduring power. The tale of Sataro Fukiage is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows of even the most ordered societies. His crimes, a stark violation of human dignity and a testament to the depths of human depravity, left an indelible scar on the Japanese psyche, a scar that continues to serve as a cautionary reminder generations later. While the passage of time may have dulled the sharp edges of fear, the memory of Fukiage's reign of terror continues to resonate, a somber echo in the corridors of Japan's criminal history. It is a reminder that beneath the veneer of civilization, the primal instincts of violence and predation can lie dormant, waiting for the opportune moment to emerge. To forget such horrors, to relegate them to the dustbin of history, would be a disservice to the victims and their families, and a dangerous abdication of our responsibility to learn from the past. Fukiage's story, though difficult to confront, holds valuable lessons for us all. It underscores the importance of vigilance, of recognizing the subtle signs of societal breakdown and individual despair that can create fertile ground for evil to take root. It highlights the need for compassion and understanding, for addressing the systemic inequalities and social injustices that can push individuals to the fringes, leaving them vulnerable to the siren song of violence and despair. The legacy of Sataro Fukiage is one of vigilance and a commitment to safeguarding society's most vulnerable. Japan embraced new technologies and social welfare programs to prevent similar tragedies. Communities recognized the importance of shared responsibility and vigilance. From tragedy, a stronger society emerged, honoring the memory of those lost.